Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm happy to be back with another episode of What Are You Listening To? It's been a while since we've done one, but there's been a lot of new music out in the past couple weeks, and a lot of it's been on repeat, so I felt like it was a proper time to do an episode like this of What Are You Listening To? Dog style. So the first track that I have been listening to nonstop is a song called Stand on My Own. And it's by Dan Lewis, who's the lead singer of Augustana. You might remember Augustana. They were a band that burst onto the scene in 2005 with their single Boston, off their album All the Stars and Boulevards. And we now have lead singer, like I said, Dan Lewis, after a solo stint, apparently recording under the band name again with an album soon to come. Since he is the only remaining member of the band, this song especially hits hard because it's called Stand on My Own. And I'm wondering if that's like a direct, kind of speaking to the former members. I'm not sure of that. And the chorus is definitely a statement that he's back and ready to rock. And I'm excited to hear more music for sure, whether it's from just him or if it's the full band or if it's just him under the guise of Augustana. Next song we're going to feature is one of our favorites of the pod, Wilco. Their new song is called Evicted, and it's off their upcoming album that's coming out on September 29th. It's called Cousin. This song has a classic Wilco feel on this single as Jeff's heartbreak on display in this mid-tempo that bounces along with Nels Cline, providing the excellent guitar play as always. Tried and true, this single, just like Wilco. And again, we're hope to expect more of the same with the album that's coming out. Our next track or next song that I have been listening to is interesting because when I first listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. Silver Sun pickups, cool. And then when I did a little, deep dive into the song itself, I realized something else. So the song is called Move On Fast, and it's off the Netflix series, I guess you would call it their soundtrack, The Lincoln Lawyer, which I've not watched. If you've watched it, let me know in the comments what you think about it. But yeah, like I said, Silver Sun Pickups, it just released last week or 2 weeks ago. And it's a cover of Yoko Ono's song off her 1972 album, Approximately Infinite Universe, which I hadn't heard of until they covered it, like I said. I like both versions for different reasons, and I included both on the playlist for this episode that I'll post on our social media. Killer guitar solo on the pickups version, and it sounds like it's maybe a saxophone that does that part in Yoko's version. But again, in the comments, if you know, let me know. But yeah, awesome, really great song. And thank you to Silver Sun Pickups for doing a cover, again, of something that I hadn't heard of. Most bands do covers of songs that you've heard of before. So it was a welcome, it was a welcome song that they put this out. So the next song that I am going to feature is called, and actually by far the funniest and most unique song titles, The Diminutive Bob Leg Week. And it's from a band called the Yeti Trio. And this was a single released in 2018. And the reason that I'm featuring this is when I did the interview with the Fitzky brothers a couple weeks ago, check that out on our YouTube page, they mentioned Valer Trucks, who is the son of Butch and the cousin of Derek, and that he is this amazing guitar player and that he's in this band called the Yeti Trio. So thank you to the boys in the Fitzky brothers for turning me on to the Yeti Trio. But guys, obviously Valer is little known outside of the music community, but holy moly, he can play the guitar as this track demonstrates. Good Lord. The sound is just instrumental, and I would call it like jazz fusion, maybe a little psychedelic as well, but with guitar showcases throughout. Like I said, I mean, this guy can play, and obviously comes from great roots, so you would expect only the best from a Trucks boy or man. And then finally, again, just a welcome addition to my What Are You Listening To? Glenn Hansard is back, and he released a single called The Feast of St. John, and it's off his upcoming album coming out in October 20th. And the album is called All That Was East Is West of Me. It's a great song, or a great album title. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard of Glenn Hansard, he was part of the Swell season and is a good buddy of Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. And I actually got to see Glenn Hansard open up for Pearl Jam, well, for Eddie Vedder in Clearwater, Florida on December 4th, 2012. So almost 12 years ago. But yeah, he just killed it that night, Glenn Hansard, of course. And he actually came out during Eddie's set, and I think they did like 4 songs together. So you can definitely tell that those two have a brotherhood. But this Irish folk singer returns with this slow burner of a song that will give you the feels. Lyrically strong. He just really pours his heart out into these songs. Very emotional, a la Damien Rice, kind of sort of like that. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, those are my 5 songs that I've been listening to. Hopefully you get to check out the playlist that'll have all those songs, including the Yoko Ono version of Move On Fast that Silver Sun Pickups covered. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters, www.raroutfitters.com. That's RAWR. And again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You've been great. I've been Dogg. This is the Music Lab podcast.